What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Duelists are freaking out about Toon Chaos what feels like more than any other side or core set in my channel's history. I've had more conversations on streams, more DMs, and more people asking me, John, what should I do about these collector's rares? I want this one or that one, but the price seems ridiculously high right now. Should I be waiting? Then I have people asking me what I personally would be doing with this set if I were going in my vendor days, and then people just having the normal conversation of, I want this single or that single. Pot of Extravagance have shorted. It seems pretty good as a price right now versus what it was, right? Or other people looking around at the Toon stuff. Is this a decent price? Pre-sales are selling out. And to the point of pre-sales selling out, at very good prices over on Tier 0, way past what I thought they would list them at, like $17 Toon flip page and bookmark. That was pretty darn good of them to do with code What's Good 5 for 5% off. When we look at this set, it's been shorted on allocation both in the USA and EU. Whenever vendors want a set, they pre-order a certain amount or tell their distro they want X, and it's not showing up to the distros and the amounts that was ordered. Some people are being told they're getting nothing at all, a giant goose egg. Other people are getting 20% of what they ordered, and with that, it's kind of concerning to see early box prices both on eBay and TCG Player be around the $80 mark. This sometimes happens early, as this set is supposed to officially get into people's hands around the 18th, but we're seeing a ton of people get this early. That's why the buzz is going, and from all early data, it seems that people are only pulling around 3 collector's rares from each case. My data from pretty much everywhere lines up with this so far, but I don't have a mass case opening to make sure this isn't anomalous or, you know, from XX boxes compiled. When it comes to the collector's rares, let's suppose it is 3 per case. That means it takes 5 cases to see all 15 by RNG if everything went perfect. Of course, it's never gonna go perfect, and clumping's been a thing with Konami in the past, but let's assume there's no shorts, and 5 cases equals 15 collector's rares equals all of them. Well, if we do that with Starlight Rares, something that in very recent Yu-Gi-Oh! History skyrocketed in price, so I see people's concerns with collector's rares, they are twice as hard to get in Echo. Only twice as hard for a Starlight Rare, one of the hardest things to pull in Yu-Gi-Oh! History, 1 per 2 cases if you want a specific one. You're seeing 5 total of them out of 10 cases to grab a specific Starlight. Now, in terms of actually grabbing them, well, a Starlight will be 6 times as hard as a collector rare itself, but to look for a singular one, since there's only 5 different ones in Echo, yeah, so if you want a Blackluster Soldier, you're looking at 1 in every 5 cases by the math right now. If you want a Chaos Emperor Dragon, similar, 1 in every 5 case, if this holds up to be true. I would potentially wait for ratios, but people are boldly putting these on the market right now that do plan to do mass case openings that did get some of this in, but there's not a lot of this to go around, and that's why the prices are going up. Now, I usually don't suggest pre-sales on TCG Player. They're usually not as competitive, but you're seeing more than that usual 9 listings, 11, 16, 13. People are getting this in early, so they have it in hand, and they're undercutting early on. I would consider getting certain things of the Toon stuff. A lot of the openings aren't showing a ton of these pulled, but there's not that many Toon cards in the first place to be pulled, so that could also be why. We'll get a look at ratios later. We don't have those in hand yet completely, but I would still suggest, if you want something early and you think it has the potential to go up and you kick yourself more than for that than securing it, then get your cards sooner than later, especially because there won't be a ton of this. But we will see the true market release around here, hopefully, despite everybody getting it in early. And what would I personally do with this set? Well, I already told you, I see this as the next coming of Ancient Millennium. That's 400 a box. Konami may not just yeet out an unlimited wave of this, but even if they do, people will want first edition's collector rare over unlimited. And unlike Starlight, they haven't said anything of, oh, if this is an unlimited, you know, we want to include it. That's the selling point of the set. If it's unlimited, this should have the collector's rares. I think that First Ed will hold intense and great value and pretty much survive that because people are going to want their first ed collector rares over that. It's like, who would want an unlimited Starlight? Well, I'm sure a ton of people would, but they made sure to honor, you know, first edition product there. And also, when it comes to Ancient Millennium, it was so successful in terms of secondary market prices, they kind of made a whole new product around it while just re-waving Legendary 5 and Legendary 6 so you could get unlimited copies of their short prints. So I think when it comes to Toon Chaos, $80 a box, if you're getting it to keep it sealed instead of open it, that might be the route I'd go still even here if you agree with me and you think it could be there, but you do run the risk versus Ancient Millennium of them just yeeting out an unlimited wave. So hedge your gamble there, and also think about your sales rate versus how many boxes you would be buying versus who's going to be buying it at that higher rate. Ophidian has their green grin face mask, aka what does it do, pot of green? It tries to protect you and others. It's a very nice fabric mask. I actually have one over here. Like I've said, it's a little edgy for me, but I do think it fits a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players' styles and humor, and I think it's at a pretty good price. You can use code WhatsGood5 over at Ophidian to get that and really awesome playmats at really great prices. These are double-sided cloth mats at some of the cheapest prices on market and some of the best quality as well. Let's get into Eternity Code. There's not a lot moving. Why are you bringing this up? That's because we are here in the couple weeks out range, and it seems things have settled. Access code Talker is chilling at 65 right now, despite multiple early buyouts. Gearsu is chilling at 44. It's dipped, gone back, dipped. And we see Ghost Mortar chilling at 30 when it attempted multiple times to head towards 40. Almost everything has evened out, and it's stopped sinking for the most part. So this is the time, if you're looking at TCG Player, in my opinion, to be considering things. The Starlights are all holding above 200 though, and that's one of the first times this has happened. We have 5 different Starlights. All of them are pretty good slash collectible, and they are really hanging in there in terms of price. Now, Veiler versus Presale, 700, 600, it's a little bit lower. You have the Ghost Mourner hanging around the 500, being a Starlight Ghost Girl. Dragon Maid falling down towards the cheapest along with the Trap Tricks, but this is very playable. And then the Water Charmer towards 400 because people just know this is good, solid money long term, as there are now multiple Charmers and people are collecting them. This entire set's fallout is interesting. Titanocyter, I don't want you anymore, $2. A lot of people letting go of certain cards early here. It's about time, if you want cards from Eternity Code and you think it's going to go up from here, to get it sooner than later, because it's chilled out. The market has settled, and that's when things get a little wonky, and we still have no news. Will there be an unlimited wave? Is, you know, the Legendary Duelist side set really replacing it because it's giving us a sneak peek, you know, at Rise of the Duelist? What's going to happen with Eternity Code, and where will we get an unlimited print, if any? So do consider what you're going to make moves with that, but also that's in the air. Garden Rose Maiden is in a lot of combos here, and she is towards $20 now. She's been sitting there a couple of days. Oh, there's only one. Geez, it was $20 a couple days ago. Now there's only one $20 copy, at least by a top-rated seller. I didn't have time to scroll down here yet. 29, 30. So people really lining up on the next level, and one motivated seller, quote unquote. Geesh, when all the copies were gone, it was at 20 though, so I have to wonder the sales rate above the $20 range. I think this card is really awesome. I told you guys at the $3 mark I would get it just for the art. That's a cool waifu that didn't have the waifu tax, and now it's going in many a strategy, and it's a pretty darn good card. Code Radiator with the Code Talker stuff finally all here thanks to Toon Chaos, going up in price. I feel like a lot of the Code Talker decks kind of skip this one at times and end up not playing it, but it is a shorter print, if I recall, in Fist of the Gadgets and a side set, and Fist of the Gadgets doesn't have a lot of value, so I understand people kind of clamoring for it or making the tech option to want to play this. Not the worst card definitely to play in the world, but from the list that I've seen, I don't know that a lot of people end up choosing this card necessarily. Magnet Force is a random Duelist pack trap. What what does it do? It makes your machine or rock monsters unaffected by opponent's monsters' effects, giving a little more power to Adamantipator if you're playing slowly to set up a trap and combo off on another turn. I think that this is just a silly buyout. You see the market price at 2 some odd, super rare out of Duelist pack rivals of the Pharaoh. We see Necros of Sophia's Necros get a lot of attention. I don't think this is going to get actually played. She's had multiple buyouts on her ultimate rare in the past. Getting another buyout on both fronts this time, though. The secret rare also disappearing. She is a neat little tech, but, like, I don't know that she's going to see actual play here. Let me know if you've seen OCG lists playing this, and how effective you actually think it is, though, because I haven't looked fully ahead towards Necros Dragma. I've only quickly glanced, but I don't remember seeing her too much, at least early on. Trap Tricks Rafflesia is something I told you guys multiple times to get at $4 to $5. Been creeping up and now pretty much off of the market. Tons of people are interested in Trap Tricks. Bortle here. Oh god, yes. Like, dude, I do think it's actually a pretty good back and forth deck, but among the stun decks, I do feel like it suffers compared to Altergeist, who just got powered up, and Guru Control, but it is a very good deck still. It's one that I actually enjoy the pacing up at time, and Parallel Xe did give it some extra options, especially to make Rafflesia. So kind of nice to see something pan out like that. While we have a reprint coming, it is the ultimate rare, so it's not necessarily going to be going down. But Parallel Xe giving the extra edge to the deck, as many decks, kind of a cool thing, because Sarah's an easy downward pointer. Number 777, the 7 cents. Say that 7 times fast. It is going up a little in price, not extravagantly, but it's a pretty good margin for what this card is. Remember, people are number hunting. This only has its 1 copy, as do many of the other Spiditers. And the rank up spiders, they're interesting cards for sure. Just kind of keep your eyes on those. And Coral Dragon, always a Noodle Fuber kind of card, is running out slowly of quantities over on the Legendary Hero decks. That is a $30 paywall people don't necessarily want to pay to open up and chase an ultra rare. And then the secret rare is up over time. So be aware that these are running out on the market / price wise, and that people are kind of, what's going on with these? The first editions, of course, lining up actually lower, as Unlimiteds have been bought out too at this point. So the higher price, back on the market early. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch and putting up with me being a little slower than usual. What did you think of my Toon Chaos conversation? I do want to hear feedback on that. I think there's a lot of people looking at this early, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of it. Also, you know, with Eternity Code balancing out, what are you looking for from Eternity Code if you haven't already gotten it? Thank you guys so much. Please use that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra and supporting the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. It helps during these low ad revenue times, and I got the final hospital bills I'm hoping, and it's pretty expensive.